And welcome into Bon Appetit. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news, this time of the year, there's a lot of food that we cook. We prepare feasts. Well, the bad news could be now all of a sudden you have these leftovers, and for a lot of people they go, don't want any leftovers because of the fact they dry out and don't taste good. Ed Gannon's here today with Vintage Olive. You guys are located at Pepper Tree Shopping Center here in Montgomery. Open from Monday through Saturday. Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah,
Close on Monday. Now, but during the Christmas season, you're still going with those same hours, right?
Yeah, except the last week before Christmas we'll be open that Monday, depending on how it falls. I don't know what Monday is, but that last week of Christmas will be open every day.
Okay, you'll be right up to it. Amen, because you'll need to be. Well, as I was mentioning on the onset, Ed, of course, Vintage Olive, one of the most clean foods you can eat is olive oil.
That's correct.
Because everybody gets concerned about clean eating, and olive oil is very pure, isn't it?
Yeah, good olive oil is, and that's the trouble.
That's the key.
Yeah, it's grocery store olive oils, about over 70% of them that say extra virgin aren't extra virgin because the FDA doesn't regulate it. So you get what's called adulterated oils, where they put just a splash of extra virgin in just regular olive oils, and you don't get any of the health benefits that you do. Our olive oils come to us from the grower, and we bottle it at the store, so it's super fresh and super healthy.
And when he says bottle at the store, you need to go into the store because it's a real experience because they've got all different types of olive oil and these big vats, and they call that vat's got a special name.
Fusti.
Fusti. You put it in a fusti, and you can actually sample a little bit to see about the taste because it's amazing the different tastes there are in olive oil.
We have about 30 different olive oils in these fusti tanks and about 30 different balsamic vinegars that are 12-year aged. So when you come in, you can sample it. We can even mix you up a dressing, or oil and vinegar salad dressing in the little cups, so you'll know exactly the flavor you're getting when you leave.
And then they'll bottle it for you right there.
Yeah,
there's some that's already bottled, but you know.
Yeah, so we bottle it in the house, but we try to keep a stock ahead of time where you don't have to wait. But it doesn't take us but a few minutes to bottle one up.
If you're going to bottle it up. Well, as I said on the onset here, a lot of times at this time of the year, you wind up with leftovers. The biggest thing that happens with a leftover, especially meats, is they dry out.
That's correct.
So today we want to address that. So give us some information on that. And then also the vegetables we're going to talk about. Now, were these leftovers or did you make them fresh this way?
I made them yesterday, so they were in the refrigerator last night. So they've been in the refrigerator just overnight.
But this is not a case of it being a leftover. This is a case of it gaining its flavor with being in the refrigerator.
Yeah, actually kind of both. You know, a lot of times, like meats, they're not going to gain a whole lot more extra flavor by sitting in the refrigerator. That's what we're good for, is putting the flavor back in them. But vegetables and things that like to marinate do well after a few days in the refrigerator. But you can always top them off with an olive oil or vinegar just to revitalize them, bring them back to life.
Yeah, top it off and then kind of mix it all, get it back in there.
That's right.
Okay, so let's talk about these different.
One thing on chicken and turkey, one of the biggest questions we get during Thanksgiving is my turkey meat always dries out. Even if they're cooking it in the oven or on the grill, when they first bring it out, it's dry. So what we do is get the little injection needles. You can get them at any grocery store. And we mix an olive oil and a vinegar up and inject the turkey breast with some olive oil, and then it never dries out.
Okay, so you do that right when it comes out of the oven?
No, you do it before you cook.
Before you cook it? Wow.
Yeah, just inject it into the breast in a few places or under the skin, and then let it cook. And when you cut it, it will run juice. It keeps that.
And that's a combination of olive oil and vinegar, or just olive oil?
Either or, it's all preference. But yeah, we usually mix a little olive oil, a little vinegar just for the flavor. But some people like just olive oil, some people like just the vinegars.
And will it give it the taste of the olive oil too onto the turkey breast, or just make it moist?
Well, it'll do both. Like if you put garlic olive oil in there, obviously you're going to get a little extra punch with the flavor. But if you don't want an extra flavor, you can just use a plain, what we call traditional olive oils that don't have a flavor infused, and that way you don't add any extra flavor if you don't want it.
But just moisture.
Oh yeah, way more so.
That's wonderful.
And then bringing them out of the refrigerator, especially white meat, it has a real tendency to dry out.
Yes.
And we can just drizzle a little bit on it before you heat it back up, or heat it up and then drizzle it on there. But it will revitalize your dried out meats and vegetables. This is Boston butt that I did. about 4 or 5 days ago, and the same thing, put it in the refrigerator, just bring it out, and this is a cinnamon pear balsamic vinegar.
Ah,
I'm gonna let you try that one.
okay.
And like I said, we got little description cards, and when you come in, we can help you with all this. But cinnamon pear is one of the favorites on pork. It's got a little sweet,
Oh
little
yeah.
sweet flavor to it. It goes good with that salty sweet.
And it brought all the flavor back.
And of course, bread, you know, we got a dozen different oils that people like to dip bread in. You know, Tuscan herb is our number one for that.
Spicy.
But Szechuan mushroom,
It's a Tuscan herb oil.
it's an olive
But yet,
oil.
along with that, you do have these seasonings too, right?
Yep, we got about 50 hand blended seasonings. And the trick on those is we don't, the guy who makes these for us doesn't make them until we order them, so they're fresh. And by the way,
This one's called bread dipping. A lot of times you'll see olive oil, but one of the best ways to eat bread is dip it in olive oil.
that's right.
And you'll see a little bit of flakes on the top. That's usually the seasoning.
That's it. And the nice thing about the bread dipping in most of our seasonings, like the zucchinis that I cooked here, I put the bread dipping seasoning on zucchini squash, so you can put it in vegetables and meats and potatoes.
And you've got a variety of these different things.
I think we have about 50 different ones.
Wow. Okay, well, just remember this. It's the Vintage Olive. They're in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center, which is in Montgomery. They're open from Tuesday till Saturday. Open at 10 in the morning, close about 6 in the evening.
That's correct.
That's it. And we'll be right back right after this.